This right here is the Barista Express Impress. It's been on the market for going on 2 years now. And this right here is the Ninja Luxe Cafe Premier, a brand new espresso machine that's on the market. It's not even available in Europe yet. And today we're going to compare these two models. I think that the Ninja Luxe Cafe compares pretty well to the Barista Express Impress, although actually it has a whole bunch more functionality than does the Barista Express Impress, and it's offered at a lower price. That being said, they both have very similar grinders. We'll take a look at that a bit later in their design. And in the dial setting, you got 25 settings on both of them. They also both have adaptive dosing. So the Express Impress will manage the dose based on how far the plunger plunges, or rather the tamper plunges. On the other hand, how it's done on the Luxe Cafe is there's actually a scale in here, and I think that's way better. It does work much more consistently. With that being the case, they both offer those features. They both also offer, real portafilters with real baskets in them, with non-pressurized single wall baskets. So that's very nice. They're both 53 millimeter baskets, so they share that in common. And both of these machines also have some nifty little tricks up their sleeves. If, for example, you open up this little flap here, you've got another basket. That thing is humongous. That is for brewed coffee as well as a quad espresso shot. And you got a little area there for your back flushing disc, which looks eerily similar to the one that comes with the Express Impress. So we got that little hiding area. On the other side, we've got a little cubby hole for the tamper, which is a spring type. And we've got also a little area where the funnel gets stuck in. So that's really neat. The Luxe Cafe offers that. And on the other hand, what you've got here on the Express Impress is a cute little cubby hole here where you can keep your accessories. So you got your other stuff in there. This is the trimming tool. I do need to use this sometimes when the adaptive dosing doesn't work properly and gives me too much. Then I just scrape some off the top. And here you can put your single basket, your pressurized baskets if you want your clean stuff. So that's pretty neat. Put that back in there. So, I mean, as far as delightfulness is concerned, both of these machines do offer some nice, delightful features, some nifty things that I think a lot of people enjoy. Now, they both also offer pre-infusion on the espresso extractions, which is a nice thing. It is not programmable, however, on this machine or manually adjustable. On the Luxe Cafe, you can actually manually adjust it. On the Barista Express Impress simply by pressing and holding one of these buttons, and it will give you a low water flow the whole time you're pressing that button for the pre-infusion. So that's kind of a plus point for the Express Impress. Now, one thing the Barista Express Impress does have over the Luxe Cafe is a water spout. Take a look at this. So that's a nice feature that I don't understand why they omitted on the first version of the Luxe Cafe, but I have heard that on the next edition, the one coming up in the next months, they are going to add a hot water spout. Nevertheless, as a touche, look at this. The Luxe Cafe comes with an automatic steam wand. So you put your milk in here and it will automatically put steam and hot air into the milk. It'll swirl it around with this disc inside. And so that actually works. So you got auto milk steaming on this machine, on the Luxe Cafe, which you do not have on the Barista Express Impress. Even on the Touch Impress, the higher model in the Barista line, I find that the automatic milk frothing doesn't work very good because it doesn't get a vortex going, or a whirlpool rather, whereas Luxe Cafe does get that going. So Luxe Cafe has got that really cool trick up its sleeves. You can also steam manually with this machine if you like, and it does a good job. I'd say that they both work just about the same. Okay, this steam one, by the way, you can only move up and down, but it's fine with me. This one you can move however you like. It's on a ball joint, so that's kind of, it's kind of nice. But I'd say for me, they both give me nice silky milk. They both take a while, like up to a minute to steam milk for a cappuccino. Of course, the Luxe Cafe, as I mentioned, has got other tricks up its sleeve. It's got not only espresso, but it can also do a cold pressed espresso. It can do the quad espresso. So you're getting not just a double, but you're getting a quad, a 4 times espresso. That is a lot of espresso you could put into a huge drink, like maybe into a Yeti cup, for example, to take with you on the go. It also does brewed coffee. So if you just switch to the brewed mode, you got classic, you got rich, you got over ice, which means it's going to give a little bit less of the extraction to compensate for the ice, and rapid cold brew as well. So this machine will actually cool down the boiler. That's a thermal block rather. It's going to cool down the thermal block so that you can either do a cold press espresso or you can do a rapid cold brew coffee. So that cold brew coffee takes about 4 minutes, by the way. Now I know a lot of people are going to say a cold brew coffee should actually brew overnight in the fridge. So this is just kind of emulating a cold brew coffee, but it does do that. And it also will allow you to steam milk, not steam, but froth milk cold. So you can make yourself a cold drink with a cold press espresso, put it over ice, and put some nice tasty frothed cold milk on top, and that is tasty. So yeah, in the end, it's kind of hard to really compare these two just feature-wise. They both make espresso, but the Luxe Cafe also does brewed coffee. It does cold drinks. It does auto milk steaming, and it's even got a scale in the grinder. Plus, it's cheaper. So, yeah, honestly, it's kind of nuts. The Luxe Cafe packs just a ton into its package. Another thing that the Luxe Cafe offers that the Barista Express Impress does not is a water sensor. So when the water is getting low, the machine will tell you, hey, fill up the water, which is a really good thing. Because, for example, on the Barista Express and Express Impress, there is no water sensor, and you can be mid-shot and then suddenly run out of water. And then you have to, again, reprime your water circuit, and you have to throw the shot away. So that's pretty annoying. And I like the fact that the Luxe Cafe comes with a water sensor. It also comes with this display that is pretty functional. I mean, it's actually quite nice. It's not a touch display, so it's not like super fancy, but it gives you the information that you need. And talking about that, they do also have brew temps, so low, medium, and high. And for me, for my like medium, a little bit darker side of medium espresso roast beans, I'm actually keeping it on the low setting. I've tried it on the high setting as well for a really light roast bean, and that is doing a good job for me as well. It's not sour, it's fruity, it's doing a good job on that. Now you can also set the Barista Express Impress up to have higher temperature for those lighter roast beans, but you gotta turn the machine off, and you have to remember a certain button combination, and it's just really not intuitive. With that being said, the Express Impress does include a manometer, which I think is very nice. It's good to know what pressure you're extracting at, or at least have an indication. Whereas the Luxe Cafe, it doesn't have any manometer. The Luxe Cafe comes with temperature regulation as well as pressure regulation. I've actually never managed to completely stall this machine, which I think is pretty incredible. And that's also with using the Barista Assist dosing. So it tells you, it weighs the dose first of all, and then it tells you based on the previous extraction where it's where the best grind setting is going to be for the next one. So right now it's recommending, there we go. Right now it's recommending 5. I'm on 5, and that's based on the previous shots that I've done. And I find that actually does a really nice job. I get my extraction like a 2-to-1 extraction. And you can set that up in here. You can set up a 2-to-1, a 2.5-to-1, or a 3-to-1 extraction. And it does a pretty good job actually hitting those numbers. So, I mean, this machine, it really, really offers a lot. With all that stuff being said, aesthetically, I still do think that the Barista line, it's prettier, it's somehow more handsome, it's kind of a little bit more organically shaped, it's more rounded off, it's easier to wipe down. I don't know. I just find it's a little bit easier to keep clean than all the different surfaces on this machine. So, but that's subjective. You know, whether you think this is more aesthetically pleasing or the Luxe Cafe, that's up to you guys. Now, I have done dedicated videos on both of these. I've gone through all the features, espresso, the brewed coffee, the cold drinks. I've gone through all of the features of this Luxe Cafe as well as the Express Impress. Check out those videos if you like. But I think what we're gonna do next is just grind some coffee, make an espresso. I've got these both dialed in as close as I can get them. Just compare the espresso. We'll also steam some milk and close out the video.
Getting value from this video? Please take a moment to like and subscribe.
All right, on to the second part of the video. These are the beans I'm using right here. This is M Espresso by Martin Mule. Very good beans. These cost 26 euros per kilo. But they are fresh, they're more gently roasted. They're gonna be better than Lavazza or something that's been sitting on supermarket shelves for a long time. I'm gonna start with the Luxe Cafe. So this is the workflow right here. You gotta take the funnel, put it on the portafilter like so. I'm gonna just tear out the scale to see what we get. I have been getting 17.8 grams almost always. So 17.7, 17.8 is generally what I get. Stick that in the cradle. You can see it's tearing the scale right now. We're gonna hit grind. One thing to keep in mind is that I've actually got this machine on 50 Hertz and it's a 60 Hertz machine. So you're gonna maybe hear that in the grinder and in the pump. It might just take a little bit longer as well. Let's see, what did we get? 17.8. I mean, this thing is really consistent. It's pretty amazing. So, take this cool tamper that we got here, spring type, and stick that back into the machine. And let's see what kind of espresso we get out. Well, that is another thing. You can also adjust the height here, which is kind of nice. And I got it set for a 2-to-1 ratio. So let's just see what we get out. 18 grams in, just about. We should get around 36, but let's see where we end up. Pre-infusion. Okay, so in that case we got out 32 grams, so not quite 36, but close. It's about a 1 to 1.9 ratio. I'll take it for the easiness of just pressing the button and having it do the volumetric extraction on its own. Now let's do the same thing here with the Barista Express Impress. There we go. Let's tear that guy out. Oh, it says dose levels low. So this is the adaptive dosing. I'm gonna hit the button again. Still just a little low. All right, right on the green. Okay, so let's see, what do we get there? 17.8, wow, this is a perfect comparison. Let's see how these two shots compare in the end. And again, here I'm gonna do the volumetric dosing. I'm just gonna press the button, let the machine do its thing. I had it set up to do around a 2-to-1 ratio. So let's see. And one more thing, I have had both these machines on for a little bit, so they're heated up. Actually, the portafilters are pretty nice and warm. It's looking pretty good too. That one stopped pretty early, actually at just 25 grams. So, I mean, how these machines generally work or have worked conventionally is that they got a little wheel inside that counts the water that goes past. But that's before the pump. That's before having to deal with the pressure. So it's a little unfortunate. 25 grams, 32 grams. That means that this one is a little bit more stout, but I'm just going to compare them anyway. This is a real empirical test. So let's test the first one. Oh, it's pretty good. It's got a nice body to it, kind of thick on the tongue. It's good notes of bittersweet chocolate, just a little bit of milk chocolate. Yeah, some milk chocolate in there too. Let's try the second shot. They're very similar, although the ratios are a little bit different between the two. Somehow this one seems just a little bit more astringent. I do get the notes of chocolate in there, but I don't know, it's a little bit less sweetness, a little bit more astringency, but I do think that varies a lot. I find these machines are really similar in the results, but as you see, this one's not quite as consistent. You know, I was testing this machine before the video and I got exactly 36 grams out of my shot, and this time 25. So that's without changing the grind setting or anything. With that being the case, this machine somehow is able to stay more consistent, the Luxe Cafe that is, and I'm not so sure how it does that, but it must have a better way of regulating the pressure and knowing based on how the pressure is changing in the system to adjust for the ratio. Action. Now, as far as the grinders are concerned, these look to be really identical to me, or nearly identical. If you just take a look at these two lower burrs, to me they look to be exactly the same. They got 5 blades on them, and I don't know, as far as I can tell, they look the same. The only difference really is the bottoms and how they're mounted. On the Barista Express you got 2 notches, and on the Luxe Cafe you got 3 for mounting the bottom burr. And as far as the top burrs are concerned, these also to me look to be really pretty much the same. So yeah, I would expect in that case similar results in the Espresso. Pretty much same bottom burrs, same top burrs, and also 25 settings on the dial for adjustment. And keep in mind, when you want to loosen these burrs, you got to turn actually clockwise to loosen. All right, enough blabber about Espresso. Let's go on to milk steaming. Now, as I mentioned, you can steam automatically with the Luxe Cafe, but I still prefer to do it manually. So I'm going to do that. Yeah. Just have to pull the steam wand out, make sure that you're on the lowest froth setting, and then you hold the button in to start it. It does take a good 15 to 20 seconds. So let's go ahead and steam some milk. Now, neither of these are non-burn steam wands, which means that as soon as you're done steaming, you have got to wipe that wand off immediately, or that milk gets caked on there big time. But I found a nice spot here to get that whirlpool going. It's getting pretty hot now. I'm guessing 55, 57 degrees Celsius. Starts to hurt my hands right around 60. Just gonna cut it off there. And oh, that was 1 minute and 25 in that case. So that was a bit longer. Oh, oh. This does have the auto-purge, by the way, as you see there. So that's convenient. Oh, I made that milk pretty thick. Really thick. Not really any design, but I'm doing it backwards. So let's see if I can get a design on this one. All right, got a good whirlpool going here as well. All right, it's getting plenty hot. This milk looks a little bit better, so we'll see what I can get there. So in this case, I did a better job with the Barista Express Impress than I did on the Ninja Luxe Cafe. But that's sometimes a little bit the luck of the draw. I'm operating these things from the back, and also I'm not the most consistent latte art person. So if you want to see how to do a really good latte art, you should check out Lance Hedrick or Emily Bryant. But I just try to show how I do it as just kind of a home barista. All right, with all that being said, I think that the Ninja Luxe Cafe is a really excellent competitor to what has really been the powerhouse in home espresso machines, all-in-one machines for sure, in the barista line. The Barista Express, Barista Express Impress, Barista Pro, and so on and so forth. Plus, the Ninja offers additional features: cold press espresso, brew coffee, rapid cold brew, automatic milk frothing, which actually does a pretty good job, and a really nice consistent grinder with the wane. So with all that being said, it's hard, honestly, to recommend spending more money for less functionality unless you like the looks of the barista line. And if you'd like to go with the heritage of that line, they've been around a long time. There's a ton of stuff on forums on this machine. But yeah, the Ninja Luxe Cafe just simply offers a whole lot for the price that you're paying. So I hope that this video was helpful for you guys. You see an actual comparison between these two machines. Until next time, I say happy coffee drinking and happy espresso drinking. Bye now. Finally, there's one more thing I want to say. Sorry that this thing was cockeyed the whole time during the video. I just noticed it during editing. It's supposed to look like that.